The Oklahoma Sooners have a brutal ending to their 2025 season Friday night. We got to talk about it today, right here on Big Monday. Oh, so much for the intro. Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. If you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Big Mike will be along here shortly. We're gonna kind of go through some of the stuff that happened in the game Friday night. Watching Oklahoma blow a 17-point lead in the first quarter and fall 34-24 to the Alabama Crimson Tide in the first round of the college football playoff. I don't know about you guys. Most of you guys probably feeling it the way that we all have over the weekend, which is just it's tough, man. It's tough. It was kind of like getting kicked in the nuts. But Bishop Frank, welcome into the show. Crucifix Autumn, My Gun, Sweetness, Truoki. Let's see what else we got. Johnny Boy. There's old Ben G. Who else we got? Scooby Shaggy. What up, man? All right. Why are you apologizing to me, Johnny Boy? No need. Some of us still have bowl games to play. Woke up feeling the cheesiest. You're definitely the cheesiest, fucker. What up, Bishop? Yeah, I might have you come in here in a minute for a few. Or what? You got time to come in right now while we're waiting on Big Bog at least? You want to pop in? I'll send you a link. But let's see what else we got. Dwayne, what up, man? What's good? Shit, not much is good. Kobe McKenzie jumping into the transfer portal, sounding like he's probably going to be going to Tech. Of course, that's his hometown. I don't know that's positively sure, but it sounds that way. Greg Ray, what up, man? Hold on real quick, Bishop. What's in there? Yeah, and we're not going to miss Kobe. Does he end up there in Texas? I don't think so. But I know that was one of the main recruiting battles that they had for him when he showed up at Oklahoma. So, see, I guess. I think he may be. All right, let me do this real quick with Bishop. All right. Yeah, I got you.
All right,
What's up,
then.
Bishop?
What's good? What's good? What's up, fam? Hey, major game. We found out why it's important to make sure all phases of the game is taken care of. And with that, lead us. What you got?
It's. I think that's true. Is you kind of have to look at it. I mean, I think if you watch the game and everything like that, it wasn't just that the offense kind of did its thing early, right? I mean, they get out there and it was kind of weird, but that you saw Alabama in a more zone look than they were doing anything else, which is not something that you're used to seeing coming out of there. I know that they did a lot of it last year, but they were more of a man team. It seemed like at certain times this year, cover zero a little bit here and there, some of that other kind of stuff. But it looked like this one, they came out, got into the zone and it worked for Oklahoma, really. It was one of them deals where, to me, I felt like that was it made and Material, he definitely had a little more zip on the ball than what we had been seeing from him, a little more accuracy. There was a couple of big misses. He had the one big miss there to Giovanni. That would have been six. He could have walked into the end zone from there had he caught the ball, had he put the ball on him. But they score on that drive, so it's not like it was a killer or anything like that. They were able to get into the end zone on that drive, get a 17-point lead, but it almost felt like from that point when Xavier Robinson was open on the play and drops the football. Now, I don't know that that's a touchdown necessarily, but it's definitely going to be somewhere around the 10, inside the 10 probably. Um, you should be able to at the worst you're going to get points out of it. Um, but when they didn't hit that one and ended up having a punt, it didn't take long for them to get in the end zone. And what I noticed that to me, it felt like Coach Venables waited a little long to make his adjustment because they came out in that single high safety look and they stayed in that single high safety look for a lot longer than I would have expected them to.
I, I totally agree. And on top of that, I think it's the first time I saw where Venables was shell shocked and that the game actually affected the way he envisioned and made his adjustments.
Yeah, and that's not what you expect from Coach V either. You know what I mean? It's yeah, and Brandon Snake, welcome into the show. Extra has the speed to get 6 on that play. Yeah, I think that you saw if you go back and look at the play, and I've seen it a bunch of times this weekend. I've been watching it over and over again, unfortunately. But it looked like that safety was dropping and getting into a position where he could make a play on it. He was gonna get it, he was gonna get an angle there. Maybe he doesn't get him, but that's like I said, at the very least, he's inside the 10. You know what I mean? And probably you're gonna find a way to go in right there. These are the kind of that makes it 24 to nothing if you do that. If you make that play there, if you make the touchdown on that drive, that's probably. I mean, there's always a teetering point, right? There's always a teetering point, and I think that they were kind of teetering on that line of they've been playing so poorly, throughout the last month of the season, and we saw them 2 weeks ago get buried in the SEC championship game, and they didn't score until the fourth quarter. So that's probably that point that they teeter over and fall. Or at the very, and I don't think that you end up. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you give it up, but it was already the largest comeback in college football playoff history, tied with it anyway, I believe. And
Yeah.
so you feel like they probably give it up at that point. They probably fold like lawn chairs. That being said, you got to give Alabama a lot of credit for the way that they responded at that point because they found something in that defense. They hit on that single high safety. As I said, it felt like BV waited too long because once Kalen DeBoer and the offensive coordinator noticed it, they picked back at it. They kept picking on it. And they were able to, and that's why I said it just kind of felt like it was a weird deal for that
And
to
and
happen. But
and and let's be honest. In T Town, we were getting some of those same things on them. This game, it just seems like it flipped, and you're getting a number 5 over Johnson this spectacular catch, just a Moss catch, and it ain't nothing. He was in position. It was just a great catch on their part, and it just seems like any and everything that could have showed up did on our behalf, on our part, and on top of that, it's just like we answered the call after the 50 Cent mini concert, and we got a touchdown, but then our defense couldn't answer, galvanize themselves up to be forced by fire to be ready for that next series, and they went back up.
Well, and I think that, it's all well and good if you can, if 50 helps you out in that situation and gets you to go down there and score. But I got to be honest with you, man. I want to know, to me, I was going to get to the offensive side of things because at that point, after they scored just that first time, getting a touchdown and making it 17-7, it looked like, you almost had that feeling of, uh-oh, you know,
Yeah.
because, and truth be told, I mean, hell, they got up 10-0 in the game at Tuscaloosa, and they erased that lead there too.
Yeah.
And they got it to 17-10, then it was 17-7, then it was 17-14. But it's just they don't the offense, it definitely sputtered at that point. It felt like they definitely took their foot off the gas as it were, with certainly weren't running the football anymore the way that they had been, which was, again, one of those things that this was a season-long problem when it comes to what we saw there. And to me, I just have a hard time with how that kind of went down. I don't know. It's,
Let me add something. Hey, family, let me talk to y'all. There's a concern for me as an old coach to where you only can afford to go with two running backs the back half of the season, and you can't have nobody else come in. That's
what do you mean
it's
by that?
something
Wait, say that again?
uh, that we were only able to count on two running backs.
Mhm.
The remainder of the season is this very odd where you can't have somebody spell them, or if they're hurt, actually have someone step in their place that you can account for.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are gonna sit here and try to go the DeMarco route on this. I don't think DeMarco has anything to do with that at this point. I think DeMarco coaches them up during the week, and from what I can tell, the who they play and how much they play, that's on Ben Arbuckle. And even if DeMarco was making those choices, if that and that's not his MO, that's not what we've seen out of him. But John Mateer, of course, has they have 33 attempts, but most of that is 19 rushing attempts for 15 yards by Mateer himself. You know,
Yeah,
and it's
and go ahead, finish your thought.
no, it's just, to me, that is it's not having a commitment to the run game.
Agree.
So do you need more than two running backs? I mean, I don't know. Do we need more than two running backs? We're talking about 14 carries between the two running backs in this game.
Yeah, and let's just be honest. This whole season was just a mixed bag. If we could just be honest, we never. It just seems like we rode the coattails of the defense, and in the biggest game, uh, our offense started off hot and was able to do enough of a mixture to establish something. But it's almost like they shocked them on their own selves, and once one thing started happening, and then the you had the X Rob, dropping that one pass, but then the next play, our punter, being unbeknownst to us, is how do you?
I've never
I ain't
seen
never,
anything like that.
I ain't never seen nothing like that. That is like that spooky type of stuff. Like how many times that punters work on their drops? I have seen Turk was, working
I
out
get
with
it, but
making
it's not
sure.
like he couldn't have hit the shot. It's not like he couldn't have hit the ball, though. It's almost just like he just had a brain fart there. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
That's what I was
He
about to
shanked
say.
another
Is
one? I mean, he
yeah,
shanked another one, he had a crazy I think that they did. I mean, somebody up here said, I think once the entire team panicked when Bama struck back. TB says it. I don't disagree. Um,
yeah,
hey, Latoya, good to see you in here. Um, as far as people were asking here about Schmitty retiring, I think there's definitely a lot of smoke about it. Definitely a lot of smoke about it. We're hearing some things that uh, I don't know that isn't. To me, it feels like this smoke has been there for a while. We hadn't talked about it at all, but I heard from more than one person that I trust over the weekend that said the same thing. So, we're hearing multiple reports of it. And when Mr. Mason brought it up on Saturday night or Sunday night, um, you gotta or no, Saturday night, I guess it was.
yeah.
Um, you gotta kind of know that that's yeah, shoddy, exactly. But you're not handing it to the running back. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Hey,
But X-Rob was limping. I know he was definitely hurting, guys, and I get it. And then one thing I'll say about that, shout out to him for being able to tough it out and get in there and play. But if you're gonna play, you gotta fucking perform too. So nothing but love for X-Rob, but you gotta catch that football. You gotta make that play. And then he had that run on the sideline, and that turns into a 3-point drive on that one where he tiptoes on that sideline and doesn't get in. Or wait, was that still on that first? I don't remember if that was the first one where they scored the touchdown on it, or I don't remember
yeah,
if
they
it
scored
was
a
or not.
touchdown. They still scored a touchdown. Here's the
Okay.
thing about it is, we can just be open and honest. Um, for the first time, um, our offense looked somewhat decent for that first quarter, and then it just seems like
Yeah, but
um,
he went right
Murphy's
back to what
law
he had been
came
doing.
into existence.
Well, he
So
went right back to his old ways, it felt like, it went right back to his old ways, and it's just, you whatever it was like I said, it felt like as soon as they made that switch from 0 into the zone, it confused him or back to like a man defense from the zone, it confused him, and then, I don't know, not for nothing, but the pick six, there's no way that like the pick six, there's no reason why that happened. If you go back and watch that shit, and I mean really watch it, he stared that guy down, and not the receiver. He stared down the defender being right there. They said there's that the receiver didn't run the right route. Bullshit. I think that's a option route right there.
yeah,
If you get the DB to bite, which he did, and you're gone like that, obviously he made the right play. The receiver did. Mateer is staring at that spot and stayed exactly at that spot and threw it to that spot. I mean, shit. Again, I felt like John Mateer came into the game looking a lot better than he has been. His throws, they were coming off his hand a lot with a lot more zip and some more accuracy than what we've seen as far as layering the ball in certain places and things like that we've seen from him. To me, it was wild that you would make that throw. But we've seen that a lot where he gets locked into something and he's just, again, brain fart. It was, how do you make that throw?
it just
But the problem, let me just
no,
say
no.
this, and
Go
I
ahead.
think I told you this the other night.
Yeah,
My thing was, and I said this to K Chris because we were sitting together. They come back out on the field in the very first play. They try to run that screen, and he throws that ball, and it should have been intercepted and taken back also. Why in the fuck are you calling another pass play immediately following that? If it's Ben Arbuckle should have, no matter what, run the ball 3 times. If you got to punt and give him more time to get his shit together, fine. Do not send him back out there when he just threw an interception and throw it into an area that could be another pick six. And it was almost another pick six. It was wild to me that was the decision of what play to run right out of that, to me, you know?
Yeah, and what I was going to say is, I feel that we could have better utilized Kevin Wilson because the rules of engagement when you're in the playoffs is to shorten the game and make sure you be methodical and pick your spot to hit big plays because every possession counts. And I feel like we got ahead of our skis, and then when something went awry, it's like we went chicken little and like the sky is falling, and that you can't make an adjustment to get right back in the mode. And I feel that our Arbuckle in this off season needs to there needs to be some major checks because I looked at the when I evaluate the game film. He resulted right back. Once he had success, he resulted right back to now all of a sudden not knowing that he had a actual game plan and not going back to it and find out what was being successful and what needed to be scrapped. I just didn't see it. No
Yeah.
adjustments.
Yeah.
And and then on top of that, just think about this. You have a quarterback that's probably feeling the best he's felt in a long time since that surgery. And it was showing proof. But here we are again, not utilizing our running backs. I don't care if it just gets us 2 to 3 yards. 2 to 3 yards allows you to establish that you're not just going to go strictly pass. And once again, uh, his his final exam, I don't think he passed. In
No,
Arbuckle,
no, man.
and
No
I'll
way.
be straight up
Arbuckle didn't,
honest.
and to be that matter, so neither did Brent Venables, and that's what
Oh,
Shawty's saying right here.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
saw a coach in BV still learning on the job. He has to be able to make in-game adjustments better. The coaching staff was the difference. I don't disagree with you. I don't
I totally
disagree
agree.
because I think he's right. You know, this next comment is that they're closely matched on paper. I don't think there's any doubt of that. I think
Yeah,
that, you know, overall, if you look at recruiting rankings and things like that, then obviously
yeah,
Alabama still probably has a little bit
yeah.
of a you know, they probably are ranking wise, they're definitely a little better in
And
certain places. And
how I got a moment.
on offense, they certainly are
Go
better
ahead.
in certain places for sure. Um, Quarterback being the number one place that they're better at. And, you know, you got to give it to Ty Simpson, man. After the way that they rattled and shook him up in
Yep.
Tuscaloosa 5 weeks ago, he came out there and played pretty clean, man. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he's 18 and 29, 232 yards, you know, 2 touchdowns. Uh, they didn't get to him as much as they did, but they got to him enough. It felt like early that you might have been able to go ahead and like really press on that. You know,
Yeah.
not forcing a turnover and having turnovers yourself, you can't have it, man. You just can't have
Yeah.
it. You cannot lose the turnover battle in a game like this. And again, we've seen this go on, and I think part of it is, you know, they believe that it almost felt like you've been playing with fire for a while, though. We've been talking about it. I know they were on a winning
You
streak and
were
all
right,
that stuff,
Jason.
and that
Absolutely.
hard to kill stuff. You know, I love all that and everything, but if that's what you're banking on, then that's not enough, man. You have to be getting better, and they had a lot of time to have a better game plan, it felt like to me, and to be able to, and to, like Shotty said, you got to match. They made an adjustment. You got to make an adjustment too. And it just felt like they were slow doing that, you know?
BV talk. Bevo bodyguard's talking to himself.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about
But
I'm not even
yeah,
gonna pay attention
hey,
to him.
how I got a moment. Hey, big salute to Kimberly and Lady Latoya.
Yeah,
Uh,
shout out to them.
hey, big salute. Hey, thank you for coming over. Hey, one love, major, major, and go finish what you started. Congrats.
Yeah, we definitely it was, we appreciate you guys coming in and stuff like that, and,
Yeah,
it's all love, like I said before, it's, look, it's a good football team. Obviously, we know that. It's nothing new for us to know what this team is about, and we
yeah,
expect you guys to move on and handle business.
especially against
Um,
Indiana.
yeah, I think that they can. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that. Yeah,
Mm,
but I will say this, Jason. There's some validity to what you were saying about we had, believe it or not, we as a fan base in Team 131 was okay with having a defense led team, but didn't hold the same hard to kill for the offense. We were okay with them just doing barely enough to keep winning games when you know it's not possible to get that done. Uh-oh, the man of the
welcome
hour,
to the
too sweet to
show,
be sour.
Big
I don't know
Mike
about
Boganowski.
I
Welcome
don't know
in,
about the
Big
man of
Mike.
the hour, but
Huh?
I said I don't know about the man of the hour. I ain't done nothing special.
Uh, we kind of post-morteming what we saw this weekend, and it's I mean, I know look, I feel like I know where you're at right now on the feelings about it, but it's tough way to go out. You have an opportunity to kind of get, you had a chance to kind of put your foot on their neck and finish that off. And like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Alabama because Alabama did what they had to do. Um, they made adjustments and they got some momentum going and they played with a lot of guts, man. A lot of guts. Cause it's easy to, I mean, it would have been easy for them to roll over, once it got to 17 nothing. I feel like had you gotten into 24, maybe that happens. But, at some point, you definitely have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, look, what the fuck was that? And it just didn't feel like the adjustments were happening on the other side, coming from either side of the ball in Oklahoma, you know. It felt, I don't know about you. I was just saying earlier, I felt like they stayed in that single high safety look for way too long. Um, Once it started kind of going the other way. What were your thoughts about that?
I have no idea. I haven't watched it. It's hard to tell in the game kind of what's going on. If someone, just I haven't gone back and watched it, man. It's just, I mean, yeah, you said, man, you got to give credit to Alabama, man. They kept fighting, took advantage of our mistakes,
Yeah.
and they played well, man. They did. They kept grinding, man, and we didn't capitalize on their mistakes. You know what I mean? Like it was like a complete role reversal from the regular season game. Like you look at the stats and you're like, damn, Oklahoma should have won that game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it is what it is, man. That shit sucked. I ain't gonna lie to you,
Dude, I feel like I've been kicked in the balls all weekend. I mean, it's just like
dude.
you're almost
Dude,
in mourning. It's like
hey, listen,
it's almost like being in mourning, really.
dude. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning Saturday, got on the road, drove to Salina, Kansas for a basketball game in the morning. And let me tell you, bro, I've never came so close to crashing out in my life. Just because, like, dude, the kids weren't listening. They was out there playing rec ball, open gym.
Yeah.
Parents kept coming up and trying to talk to me, tell me what they're seeing. People texting me,
Bro, get the
doing
fuck
this
out
and
of
that.
my face.
Dude, let me tell you something, bro. I grabbed the keys, I walked outside, got in my car, and I just drove for like 20 minutes. And yeah, it was rough, homie. Like it was
Yeah. I
it
I
dude,
went.
It was rough.
Well, when we got, I mean, it was shit. You know how it is. It takes forever to get out of there. And my phone was dead. And it went dead quick. I don't even know what was going on, but it went dead fast. So we got out of there and it took a while to get back over to, because I went to K Chris's and then we drove from there. And so and he didn't have a charger when he got in there, and it still took us a while to get to his place, so then I get plugged in and everything. And I was thinking about going on, but it still took a while just to get away from Norman. And so I started watching some of the other stuff and saw where Coach Sean was barking and puffing up about what I said earlier in the week about when I was getting trolled, by the way. And so I was saying that to a troll that was coming in here running his yapper, and he took offense to it or whatever. I'm sure we'll get it all worked out or whatever, but it is what it is. But I saw that shit and I was like, you don't want me on there tonight for sure. And they didn't invite me on there. But it was one of them deals where it's, even after that, I kept thinking, well, I'll do one when I get to the house. Well, it ended up being almost 1:00 in the morning by the time I got back there. By the time I got back to the camper and stuff. So I'm like, fuck, well, never mind. I guess I'll do it in the morning. And then I just slept, man. I just sleeping in like that depression sleep. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
I
It's
didn't even
like
sleep,
depression
bro.
sleep.
Listen, I didn't even sleep, bro.
Yeah.
Your boy got back to the hotel up in OKC at like 1:30. By the
Yeah.
time you settle down and you lay down and shit, I don't know what time I went to sleep, but that damn alarm felt like I had just closed my eyes and boop, bop on the road getting people and driving 4 hours. And then 3 basketball games, didn't get home till like 8:39 that night. And boy, when I tell you I crashed, I didn't even eat dinner, bro. I come home, took a shower, straight to bed, didn't say nothing to nobody. Woke up Sunday, had to go to church, had to get this evil up off me, bro. Your
Bro.
boy just had your boy had evil, intrusive thoughts all day, bro. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
go in on everybody, like and it just for no reason, homie. And I'm so
Yeah.
serious. I'm talking. I didn't even get on Twitter. I didn't even get on Twitter Saturday.
Oh, dude, me
I didn't
neither. I
do
didn't want
nothing
anything to
social
do with
media.
Twitter.
I didn't do
I want
nothing.
I hadn't been on Twitter. I
And
didn't get on Twitter till just this morning.
yeah,
So
dude.
this is the first time I've been on there. I realized Brandon Walker came back at me on something from last week, which was funny. Poor old Brandon Walker, that Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah,
But he's such a clown. But I don't know, man.
dude, we had
I definitely felt like I needed some holy water infusion. I had
oh,
some
bro.
holy water with me. I definitely was a little bit yesterday. I didn't make it to the church, but
Oh,
yeah, man,
yeah,
it's
man.
tough, bro.
Yeah, it was. No, I go to church every Sunday, homie. When I'm
Yeah,
not coming back from Oklahoma, even we'll stop and go to church in OKC or Norman or somewhere before we head back most of the time. But yeah, we be shit born and raised Catholic, man. Ever since I
yep.
can remember.
See, I'm not born and raised Catholic, but I've been. Well, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm more aligned with Catholicism either way at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, bro. It's
But
yeah, man. Hey, I needed all of that. I needed all of that on Sunday, dude.
mhm.
And then let's just finish it off with just a terrible Tampa Bay Carolina ending. Like just like I when that was happening, when that drive was happening, I was like, dude, I've seen this play out before. I know what is going to happen. And I was like, this is unbelievable. And I just sat there. I was all by myself, me and my dog downstairs on the couch. And I'm like, this isn't going to end well. I was like, I have seen this play out before. And yep, sure did. Little miscommunication.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, dude. I was just like, yep. I turned the TV off and I was like, walked upstairs with my wife. I was like, let's go Christmas shopping. And that's what we did.
You got to do something to get this feeling
Dude,
off of me.
I was just like, dude, I'm so done with football right now, bro. I was like, I'm just disappointment at every turn here in this
Yeah.
weekend. I was like, I'm done.
Hey, Benji, go fuck
Done.
yourself, man. Don't be talking shit about Baker. asshole.
No, I won't say it didn't remind anything of Baker. That was just Mike thought he was going to do a scramble drill and get open, and Baker thought he was breaking to the sideline.
Oh.
Oh, that was going to be a good one.
Predetermined. He knew he was throwing there no matter what. I don't know what he saw. It was amazing. I didn't even see it. I was at the game watching it, but I was looking in the middle of the field at the crossing routes and what was happening. And then the next thing I know, I see dudes streaking down the sideline. I'm like, the hell just happened? Because that was on the far side from us.
He stared it down.
Dude, it was on the far side of us. And I was just like, dude, I was like, I don't understand. I was like, what just happened? And Marcus was like, he threw a pick. And I was like, are you serious? I was like, I didn't even throw the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It was not right. It was fucked up. It was all because
I didn't see two of those plays. I did not see the punter. What happened when the punter dropped it and didn't kick it? I didn't see that because I was too busy griping and moaning about the play before that, where the throw to X and it getting dropped. And listen, man, I gotta touch base. I gotta put my 2 cents out there on this.
Ooh.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, dude.
I'm all jacked up here. Go ahead. I'm listening.
This is my 2 cents on that, man. And I heard a lot of people saying that was the proper play and the proper throw.
No, it wasn't.
I don't disagree it was the proper throw, right? Or me.
Hold on. No way that was the proper throw, brother.
Hold on. Let me go here.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, the reason I have a problem with that is because that is not something that Xavier Robinson runs in real game speed game. He does not run streaks down the field, nor should he. I'm not saying he shouldn't be expected to catch the ball, but in a game situation, game speed, game pressure, that is out of his I want to say skills of expertise, right? He's a dude catching swing passes. He's a dude catching arrow routes over the middle, screens, yada, yada. That's why I don't like that pass. I would much rather have John Mateer get the first down, the sure thing, right? Now, if that's Deion Burks across the middle or Satania across the middle.
Which one are we talking? Are we talking about X-Rod?
I'm talking about the 3rd and 3 that he threw the ball down the field to Xavier Robinson and it got dropped. And then the next play, we muffed the fumble or muffed the punt.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, here's what I know about football. When you don't make the proper play or the assured play, I've seen this shit happen way too many times.
Yeah, you're right about this part.
Where that snowballs and that affects the whole.
Because it's a guaranteed first down if you just run it. And we did talk about that in the same.
He's probably inside the 20.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of backs turned running man to man.
Yeah.
And I just know I don't have data. I don't have concrete analytics to pass this up or to back it up. But that shit tends to affect game. And I don't understand why. Maybe it's the psyche of the team, or maybe it's the team sees it. I don't know. We should have had a first down, or we should have had a touchdown, or we should have been inside the 20, and we don't have it. Now we're punting it. And I just know that when you don't make plays,
they immediately gave up a touchdown right after that. So it's
when we don't make plays, something happens. And I can't explain it, but I just know I see it all the time. Every year, multiple times in football. One play affects the whole game.
Well, but here's the thing, though, and I can definitely understand what you're talking about. I'll tell you this though, when you're open like that, and look, how many times throughout the year did we sit here and plead and bitch about the fact that Mateer wouldn't throw the ball down the field?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So to me, the fact that he had the nerve to make that throw on it was a scramble drill, like they're kind of talking about, TP's talking about. Could he have run the 3 yards? Sure. And I think that compounds when you drop the football, that compounds the fact that, okay, we're still going if he just runs the ball there. Well, that's cool and all, but you also could have been he's inside the 10 at worst if he catches the football. And I get it, he's hurt, whatever, blah. If you're in the game, you got to perform, big dog. That's all there is to it. You got to perform. And by the way, after that, when I think you're probably right as far as about it sucked the life out of him a little bit right there, and it kind of, and then you compound it with that interception was bullshit because he was staring down that spot on the field from the time the ball was snapped. He never looked across at the crossing routes, and we saw this all season. There's guys running wide open in other spots, and he never even looks at them. The progression shit goes out the window. So he stared at that one spot. Keontez Lewis, I guarantee you that is a combo route, or it's a not a combo route, it's an option route for Keontez. If he can get the DB to bite on that little deal, it's like a sluggo.
Dude, it wasn't. Dude, it don't matter what route you ran. They dropped into a cover two, and that dude buzzed the flats and he threw it right to him because
he was looking at him the whole time though. Keontez wasn't even there. And he's still looking at that spot and throwing it.
It was a predetermined route. That's all. That's what it was. He knew he was throwing it there, and no matter what happened, he was throwing it there. And Keontez was like, "Man, I'm changing my route," and John threw it anyway. But hey, look at what just broke on Twitter. Because and Isaiah Autry Den in the portal.
I kind of figured that was coming.
Yep, he just released a statement. Wish him the best, man. Hopefully, he can get out there and get on the field and show everybody what kind of athlete he is, man, and have a good breakout wherever he lands, man. Wishing nothing but the best.
No doubt. Yeah. Shout out to Big Cuz and to Big Zay. We love to see him, get more opportunity than what he was going to get here. And you could kind of see this coming with the emergence of obviously Fasusi and Foje. They look like they're going to be the bookend tackles here.
I think Dan's better than Foje, to be honest with you. When he's healthy and good to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was the hope was, I mean, yeah, and I mean that's when he's healthy, and the thing is, it's been bad as far as health is concerned for him on that end, and I think a lot of that has to do with I mean, I'm not going to get into all of that stuff about what happened kind of with all that. I mean, that's something that Big Cuz can talk about or Isaiah can talk about if they want to, but to me, it felt like that they were never on the same page as far as his recovery on stuff, and he got, and it's just like we've talked about in the past on, you've lost some of those dudes in the secondary over the last few years, right? Because of they just kind of get recruited over, and it almost feels like that's what it was with Isaiah. And you're right. I think that Isaiah is 6'7" and 320 and as athletic as he is, it feels like he could have been that guy. He could have been that guy on the left side too. Right. I really feel like that's the case. But when you're not in, it gives them, and now especially with the amount of money that's being out there and stuff like that, and to me, I mean, shit, if you're Isaiah, you almost have to look at it as, man, I gotta get an opportunity to play here. You know what I mean? Am I gonna get a real opportunity at this point? I don't know that he does. But I hate that myself. I mean, yeah, shout out to these guys, and we've been rooting for them from day one. We'll continue to do so wherever they land. And make no mistake, it almost happened the last time, it almost happened before. So it's one of them deals where, yeah, he's let me Let me just pull that up. Like I said, we don't have none but love for him here, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, the timeline speeds up a little bit, you know, with the way that with the portal and NIL being what it is, you know, it kind of speeds speeds everything up a little bit, you know. So shout out to them though. It's we'll go first and foremost. I want to give all the praise to God, who's the head of my life, for giving me the ability to play the game of football. I'm grateful for the incredible life-changing experience I've had at the University of Oklahoma. Dedication of the staff, the camaraderie with my teammates, and dedication of and the unwavering support from the fans have made this journey unforgettable. I've learned lessons on and off the field I will carry with me for the rest of my life, and thankful for every moment, every challenge, and every triumph along the way. With that said, I want to share that I'll be entering the transfer portal. I currently have 3 to 4 years of eligibility remaining, and I'm excited about exploring new opportunities to continue growing as a player and a person. Decision wasn't made lightly. I've given a great deal of thought and prayed for guidance. I'm grateful for the connections I've made here, the mentors who pushed me to be my best, and the memories that will always hold a special place in my heart. To the OU family, thank you for supporting me, cheering me on, and believing in me through every step of this journey. I'm eager to see what the future holds and make the most of the experiences had wherever they may lead. Yeah, shout out to Isaiah and the Dent family. That's rough.
Yeah, you know, I was surprised. I was kind of. There's another. You know, the Kobe McKenzie one yesterday. I was kind of surprised, but not really. And I, I don't know, man. I just kind of felt like I kind of saw it happening. You know what I'm saying? With the emergence of Owen Heineke and how good he was playing, and you know, he kind of took his spot and took his snaps. But yeah, I mean, I knew he wasn't gonna declare for the draft. Like I just didn't see that, right?
Nah. He.
There's
Well, when
another
he got hurt,
there were a lot of people thinking he was gonna go to the draft, but I don't know. Like if I see
I don't think
anyone
he
leaving to
graded
go to
high
the
enough.
draft, it's Kip.
When he
Kip.
got hurt, he didn't have the season that he had last year, even right.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have to look at the numbers.
It just doesn't seem like he was in on as many plays as he was last year. I got to be honest with you. Kobe McKenzie to me has been. It's always been a question of like, when's he going to get it? When's he going to be the guy? You know, and obviously, you know, you had to wait on Stutz and everything, you know, at that point, and he learned, but it didn't feel like when he would get into the game, whenever he's kind of spelling Stutzman, that he was able to make the same type of plays. And I thought that the conversations about, you know, between him and like Samuel Ogosegal at the start of the year of who was gonna, you know, take my spot, blah blah blah, and I mean, I get it, but it's just it just felt like he wasn't the dude. I mean, you see Owen Heineke in on plays at all times when he's in the game. You know, and even to some extent, when Samuel's playing, he seems to be around the football more. We know Kip Lewis. I mean, now Kip plays, you know, he's an outside backer, but he's everywhere. Or I guess inside linebacker, whatever. He's not a Mike. Anyway, but it's the point being is I just didn't feel like I think that what I'm hearing, and I've heard from multiple different people that, you know, have been talking about it, especially since yesterday, it's that he felt like his value was higher than what the staff felt like and what Jim Nagy felt like for sure. And it sounds to me like Texas Tech agreed with that. They want to get them a little bit of something that's going on in Norman. So he's from Lubbock. It makes sense. I would expect him in short order to be, you know, a Red Raider.
Bro, wasn't he just
That's
talking shit about him the other day?
huh?
Wasn't he just talking shit about him the other day? The Red Raiders?
Wasn't I don't know. Was
Yeah,
he?
he was kind of. He said, I think he went to that Big 12 championship game.
Oh yeah, where he was saying that they were talking that they went to go see the another linebacker core that was as good. He wasn't really talking shit. He just said, "I don't know that they're as good as us," but
I mean, that's kind of talking shit.
I guess.
But anyway, wish him luck, man. Wish him
Yeah,
luck
I
if that's
wish him
what it
luck
is.
too. I mean, and it's kind of surprising. But look, I mean, if you feel like they're down there gassing you up about you can make more money here, and and still be that guy or whatever. Okay, yeah, we just talked about that, Stephen G. I read his statement and all that. Um, yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, my gun sweetness said he
Well,
overthrows long
you know
balls.
what? One thing that people ain't talking about from that game, and we're speaking of Owen Heineke. If Owen Heineke would have blocked that punt,
Oh,
and if he would have took it off the
how did he
foot,
not? I don't know what I don't. How
he
did he
didn't
miss?
take it off the foot. That's the problem. Is he did that they practice that every day, diving, taking it off the foot. I don't know about every day, but they practice it a lot in special team period,
Sure,
right? Like
of course, yeah,
coming in and taking it off the foot, not jumping up and trying to get it. That's how you make sure you block the punt. The proper technique is to dive and take it off the foot,
yeah,
right? That's how you know
yeah.
you're going to get the ball. It's kind of hard when you judge and you're off and you're trying to do this and you never know that ball's coming off the foot, right? It comes off different angles or it comes up underneath you, right? Get your hands out there and take it off the foot. Man, man, oh man, oh man. That was
Oh, bro.
that was
And it was just it was one thing after another,
we didn't make
man.
the plays to win the game, Jason. Like that's
No,
they
we didn't.
Alabama made the plays and we didn't.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
that's just when it comes down to the come down and you look at it like we just did not make the plays.
Mhm.
And they capitalized on all the plays. Shout out to Alabama, man. They did
No, no,
good.
again, that's where you have to say, "Look, I'm not gonna do the
Now they just
Alabama
gotta win
thing,"
the
and
whole thing. Now they gotta go
huh?
win it all. Now they gotta go win it all.
Yeah, they definitely look, I don't know what I think they are. If I think that Georgia is the best team right now, but I also think that there's no reason why they don't go to the Rose Bowl and beat Indiana. I think they do. I don't think Indiana's ready for that. I don't think they're ready for what they're gonna get.
But I think
Um,
that's gonna be a knockdown, drag out fight.
yeah, I'm not as high on Indiana as I think you might be.
Hey,
Um,
if Indiana plays like they played in the Big Ten championship game, it's gonna be a fucking hell of a game.
yeah, we'll see. Uh, Stevie G says, "You know what's not being talked about? How electric the atmosphere was, and Sooner Nation showed up." Latoya just
It
said that very thing in the
was really
comments there, Stephen G. It was a fantastic atmosphere. Um, and it was a fantastic atmosphere before 50. 50, and to me, 50 is like on the back end of all that stuff. I know that was cool. That was cool the way that, they adopted that and they got him to come in and do that. Be honest with you though, it was the atmosphere from the second I walked into the vicinity of the stadium until, basically they were dead to rights was pretty unreal. And Sooner fans stayed in it. Sooner fans stayed in it. One of the only arguments that I've gotten into, really, aside from with Alabama fans, was somebody commenting that the atmosphere was sucky and blah blah blah. There wasn't nobody there. It's like bullshit. It was sold out and rowdy as shit the entire time. And again, that's something that Oklahoma fans stepped it up at home games this year. Stepped it up. It's been loud and crazy at every game. And I think that the university has taken it on itself to really kind of change the game day atmosphere inside the stadium, outside the stadium as well. That they've taken, the challenge of, being great with tailgating and stuff. I think there's room to improve in all of this stuff, but I think that it's something that it's, you know, um, I'll tell you, going to Tuscaloosa, I said it was electric there. It was unbelievable atmosphere that of being there, right? I mean, you were there too. It was, or no, you didn't go to that one, did you? Or
Which
did you?
one? Which one?
To Tuscaloosa. Were you there in Tuscaloosa?
Fuck yeah, I was there. What are you gonna wrecking?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to, homie?
I was. It was. There was the one that you had to miss for some reason. I just didn't remember which
They
one.
were all the early ones. I'm in South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. But I just thought it was fantastic. And you saw, they kind of. I don't know if they were thinking about doing a blackout of some kind, but they didn't. Whatever it was, it was great though. I think that overall the light show, the drone show, all that other stuff that they did, it was pretty badass. I think that they gotta do something with the damn music. I'd love to, they gotta figure out the music situation.
Dude, that dude, the microphone MC,
Mhm.
like he needs to hold that microphone like just a little bit farther from his mouth because that dude starts screaming in the microphone, dude, and it's just super annoying, dude. I cannot stand it. They need
Mhm.
to find somebody else, bro. That dude, hella
Yeah.
annoying.
Yep. Well, and I don't know, hey man, you'll bet me Indiana wins? Yeah, I don't know about all that, bro. You guys are coming in to troll? Don't start. Don't start.
Troll
This
him.
ain't the time.
On into troll.
But let's see, what
Troll.
is this? And it's Oklahoma fans that are gonna do the most of that shit too, of course.
Oh, did
You
I
know what,
make it?
guys? And guys like this, every time they're in a good game, they choke or they get up our hopes up to win, and they lose it every single time. Oh, the 0-5 in the playoff stuff. I don't even want to talk about that shit. It's been a long time since you've been to the playoffs. This is a new regime, a new everything that's going on here. And you know what? They lost the game, but you're headed in the right direction. And I get it that we want to sit here and think about all the past and haven't won in so long and blah blah blah. It is what it is, dude. It is what it is. It it could have been a lot worse. You could have gone 6-7 again. With the schedule that they played for, and their backs were against the wall for the last 4 games of the year, and they showed up and showed out and played hella good ball, especially on the defensive side of the ball and the kicking game and everything else. But they basically been in the playoffs for a month. And you lost to Alabama. Yeah, should you have won it? Probably. But, shit happens. And I think that this is the maturation. Bishop Frank was talking about it a minute ago. I think that you have to look at this as good as I think that it's been for the defensive side of it, because Venables, he's done his thing. You talked about it earlier this year about he's in his bag. The dude is it when it comes to defense. But there was I think that you could say that he mismanaged some parts of the game himself. I know that we're mismanaging the shit offensively. It's still not there. That ultimately falls at the head of him too. Even though that he's not an offensive guy, it's still his problem. These are the things that they're gonna
Well,
have to do.
I want to hear what you think he mismanaged so I can look for it when I watch this game. Tell me I'm about to
I
write
definitely
this
think
down.
that he waited a while to. I definitely think he waited too long to get
Yeah,
out of
it's
that
probably
single high
motion,
safety
right?
look that they were able to kind of exploit a little bit.
Hold
But
on, say that again.
that single high safety look.
All right, yeah, got it.
Um, Yeah, and Latoya says it right here. OU also won 2 critical games on the road to get to the playoffs. Absolutely. I think that to go into Tennessee, and Tuscaloosa and win games like that is huge. That is a move in the right direction. And again, I'm not going to sit here and crush BV. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying crush, but don't move off there. You said multiple things. You
I'm
said
not. I would listen. I'm also working with the comments here. Just a second. I'm gonna finish.
You're trying to move on, bro.
No, I'm not trying to move on.
On to
No,
your
I'm not
ass.
trying to move on. Okay. I think that the biggest thing for me is I don't think that he's involved enough in what's going on with his offense.
Okay.
I don't think that he's got his thumb down enough on what the hell is going on out there.
No, we're talking about mismanagement. So you're saying that's the mismanagement part of the game?
I think that that's a big part of the mismatch. You're the head coach, man. Manage the fucking football game.
Okay. I can't watch for that. I mean, maybe. I definitely think Ben Arbuckle got really conservative for a while there, and I think he's asking Mateer to do too much, in my opinion. They got weapons. They went and got these dudes. Like, he's asking Mateer to make all the plays, like all the passes, all the runs. Like, what he had, like he had like 15 rushes or some shit, or 19 rushes for 15 yards with like the sack adjustments or whatever. But man, there's asking that boy to do a lot of stuff, man. And I just think it needs to be distributed throughout the offense, man.
Well, and for that matter, I mean, look, I'm gonna go ahead and say what I feel about the Mateer situation. I don't like the John Mateer situation at all. I think that that was mishandled. Do you want to talk about something that was mishandled? That fucking situation from the time he got injured and throughout the rest of the season, it was not handled the way that I think it should have been handled for damn sure, and the way a lot of people do. Look, you didn't have to play him in the Red River game. And even when you did play him to start with, and it got as bad as it got, you should have pulled his ass out of there, knowing that he wasn't healthy enough he wasn't making the plays. The throws were not on the money, and he was definitely not playing like himself. He definitely wasn't playing with confidence. That should not have continued, and it continued on. The injury lingered. In my opinion, the injury lingered a lot longer than it would have had you have sat him in that game and maybe even the South Carolina game. And guess what? I believe that Michael Hawkins would have won the damn Red River game, but even if he loses that one and beats South Carolina, which there's no reason to believe he couldn't have beaten South Carolina, there's no reason to believe he couldn't have done the exact same thing, even going through Ole Miss, that was done with Mateer there. But then possibly you get Mateer back healthy and things aren't the same. And all we continue to, and I mean, you have the LSU game, Mateer's throwing pick after pick. They weren't even considering changing quarterbacks at that point. Hell, I saw Gerald McCoy talking about the shit on Twitter that it needs to happen. Look, let's just be real. Do I trust that he's going to fucking even see the open man? No, I don't.
There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues that got to be fixed. I'll put it like that. So, are you done with the mismanagement of the Alabama game? Like any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the defense, I'm not saying that I just think that it took him too long to come to like make an adjustment. Is the way that it feels like to me. You didn't see him doing a whole lot different. It almost felt like BV was kind of stuck in what do I need to do?
Yeah,
And
my biggest thing is with the defense is we allowed Ty Simpson to be comfortable and sit on his spot.
Yes.
And we did not get after him with 4, right? If you have to bring linebackers and extra dudes to rush the passer, like that is a shortcoming with your defense in that game or that game plan, or if it's all year, it's a shortcoming. You have to be able to affect the quarterback and get pressure with 4. And when they allow Caden Proctor to choke our Mason Thomas every time he's going around the edge, every time they do that, like that's a hold, man. They call that all the time, and they let him do it the whole game. But anytime you're allowed to do that, man, it's going to be hard when you can just blatantly hold somebody on the edge as they're going around the corner, and then like they once he stops R. Mason's momentum, and hey, credit to Proctor because I mean, shit, they didn't call it right. So as soon as he stopped R. Mason's momentum, he let go, right. So they wouldn't. If he would have probably kept holding, they would have called a flag. And to me, I felt like that was one of the big misses in the game that really affected us that some people saw, but I think people didn't think it had that big of an outcome, dude. That was a major uh
Well, I think
a
officials have been
major factor in the game that he was allowed to do that.
well. I mean, I get it, but I gotta say, when you're up 17-0, I don't want to fucking hear about the officials, man.
No. I'm just saying. I'm talking. I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about the defense. I'm not talking about the officials. I'm talking about how our defense wasn't able to affect the quarterback without
And they
bringing
definitely
pressure.
weren't.
And that
Yeah,
played
yeah,
into it. That played into it, right? Because we
sure,
weren't getting
sure.
pressure on them. The only way we was getting pressure, I mean, we had to do some stunts and bring people off the edge and bring, a
Yeah,
linebacker
well, Kip was really the only one that seemed to get home. He got home a couple of times.
on a blitz. Marvin Jones Jr. came on a blitz where they left him unblocked.
Mhm.
But yeah, there was just straight up like 4-man pass rush. No, we didn't get it done.
No, and that's not for nothing, but they gave up more points. They
And
gave up more.
and they was kicking our offense. Their D line was kicking our offensive line's ass, bro. They was they was whooping us. They whooped us up. The
Well,
second
and
half, bro, they was getting after our ass.
I agree with that, and I think that a lot of that goes to show it's that where they're setting the blocks. I mean, the pocket, they're 7 yards deep and shit like that. And it's that RPO. I got to tell you, if I'm looking at this thing, I got to, if I'm Venables, I sit down with him and Kevin and Arbuckle both, and be like, look, fire the RPO into the fucking sun. We got to start firing off the ball. Because if you're dropping back to do all this blocking, look, every other part of this football team is physical except for the place that needs to be the most physical, which is the O line. And the RPO, it to me, it is inviting. It's inviting softness because it's just they're not firing off the ball. They don't know what they're supposed to do, and especially when you don't have a quarterback that, God damn it, he can't even fucking count to 6 on how many dudes are in the box. It's the same problem that Jackson had last year. Making the
Yeah.
wrong read on the RPO, and it fucks with the line. I hate the shit. I wish they would get out of it, and I don't think he's particularly good at it either.
I don't disagree.
I mean, to me, I'm off of Mateer. I got to tell you, I'm just off the dude. I don't. I hope he does go to
Dude,
the portal or to the
he's
league.
got to be more decisive with the ball, and
Yeah.
and I think designed runs like we should limit those right with Mateer. Um, we because when you factor in scrambles, like that's how you get up toward the 20 rushes per game, right?
Yeah.
And
They had
Mateer,
33 attempts, 19 were his. We're talking, earlier we were talking about we don't have more than 2 running backs. Well, fuck, you don't need more than 2 running backs when
there's
they're
not
only
enough.
getting 14
There's not
carries
enough
between them.
carries. There's not enough carries in between that.
Mm-mm.
But Mateer's got to be. And this is just me, quarterback couching, defensive dude. I'm no fucking Peyton Manning of quarterbacking. But to me, it just seems like needs to be one read, two read, and maybe if you gotta check down, we got to get to it quicker. If not, we got to be decisive, pull it down, and get what you can get. Right? I just think there's too much. There's a lack of pocket presence and some fundamentals. Like I've never seen a dude like to be completely off the ground when he throws the ball. Um, you know what I mean? Like usually there's one foot where you plant off the ground and you create that whip and that you putting your hips in the throw and like rotation. But like I don't know, man. I've just seen like just jumping off the ground. Like I seen Aaron Rodgers do it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But that's Aaron Rodgers. But I don't know, man. That's just what I see, dude. And it's got to get fixed, dude. And I think they need to retool.
He's not Aaron
A little
Rodgers.
bit of 3/4
He's
over
not
the
Aaron
top throwing
Rodgers.
motion. Yeah, I that's just me. I think they need because that presents to me it presents a little bit of a problem in some downfield throws, being able to put the ball over the top and drop it in. And it just I don't know, man. I just think that there's some fundamental stuff that needs to be fixed. And again, I'm no quarterback. I'm no quarterback coach. I don't claim to be, but it's just what I see with my eyes. And I feel like I'm pretty
You know
good
football. You know
at
football. You've been
I
around
know,
the game. You played the
but
game.
dude, there's levels to the shit. That's what I'm
I
saying.
get it. I understand
There's
that.
levels
I
to the shit,
understand that.
bro. But like, I just
Mm.
what I see, bro. I watch a lot of football. It's just what I see, and I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that needs to get fixed, man. And if people, I just can't see him. I just can't see him going to the NFL. I cannot see that
Well,
him getting drafted, and
I'll tell
that's
you
just being
something.
real.
Apparently, though, that is a possibility, a distinct possibility. This camera is fucking driving me crazy. Apparently, it's a distinct possibility because there's a lot of scouts out there. This class is not shaping up to be, and I got to tell you, I don't give a shit what happens. If he wants to go to the league, let him go. Because look, the mechanics, the things that the biggest problem. No, you in here? Are you really fucking trying to come in here and poach fucking talent from my show, Smook? What the fuck?
Hey, real recognize real, homie.
Ain't this some shit, dude?
Hey,
I'll block the shit out your ass.
that's hilarious.
Ain't this some shit?
That's funny.
Fuck out of
That's
here, dog.
Coach Smoot, get at
What's
me,
wrong with
bro.
you?
Get at me.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's some
that's a
funny
great
shit.
comment by that dude 812. I don't know what that was. That Gray.
Where is he?
Gray. I'm an armchair quarterback and coach, and I agree.
That's a solid contract. It's I love it.
That's amazing.
I like that comment. Very good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to pop in, you're welcome to. No, you're not. Fuck that. He's out of here. I want to boot your ass out of here for trying to poach straight from the show.
He said
At
he's
least
on
you
his
don't do
counter
it behind my
stallions.
back, though. I got to give you. At least you don't do it behind my back.
Hey, yeah, right. Hey, first of all, I go on whatever the fucking show I want. All right, you don't own
I'm well
shit.
aware. I'm just fucking with him more than
Like, I do
anything else.
whatever
But
the fuck I want. Steal my talent, motherfucker. What? Don't think I
stealing
didn't do
talent from the
that.
show. No, I'm just
Yeah,
fucking around anyways. You already
I'm
know.
on my counter stallions. That's hilarious.
I'm gonna send him a link real quick.
Yeah, dude. I don't, man. I listen, man. Like they got a big, there's big decisions to be made, man, and in that
Yeah.
quarterback room, dude. And it's gonna be wild.
You got to be better. I mean, bottom line, I don't care what we're talking about. You got to be fucking better. And because let's just be real about it. Oklahoma, the quarterback at Oklahoma has a high standard. Sorry, not sorry. That's the fucking truth of it. And
Yep.
you're not. And he didn't live up to that standard this year. And Jackson didn't live up to it last year. We were talking about it on Saturday night on the on that other show. The Sooner recap that I do with Mason and K Chris. And I mean, are we seeing the end of QBU at Oklahoma? You might be if you don't get his shit together soon. And that's not okay. That's not okay because, and I'm not even saying that we needed him to come in and be Baker Mayfield. Although the people that were fucking calling him Baker Mayfield before the season started, I hope you never talk again.
I tried to warn y'all, bro.
I hated that shit. I said it a million times. I don't want to fucking hear that bullshit because Baker, no matter what he did in this year, Baker was a 3-time Heisman finalist and a walk-on twice and went number 1. Don't fucking make that comparison. These are a long ways to go before you can make that comparison. But he's far from that. Don't get me calling him what I want to call him on that shit. Timu Baker, maybe. Fuck out of here. Ugh, brutal. Shut up, Benji, before I kick your ass out of here. Sick of you already.
Can't handle the heat.
He ain't that dude, man. He is not that dude. And look, I don't know that there's any choice of what's going to happen. I mean, I think he's probably staying, to be quite honest with you.
Listen, if that's the case, like he has 285 or 280 something days, what I saw till the next game. All right, that is a lot of time to lock in and fix your shit. Right? That is a lot. That is
I mean, so year 4 in the program, this would be his 4th year in the system, and he doesn't have it down to the point already in year 3 and being in the system of what's going to be open, what is it going to be open, being able to come on, bro.
Yep. Yep.
I feel like Chris Mason said it the other night. I hope that he's better, but hope ain't a plan.
Yeah. No, you can't, man. You got listen, man. All across the board, bro. And we can sit here and harp on the quarterback. We got to get better on the offensive line. We got to get more depth.
I think that the scheme has to change. I don't think that the scheme. Look, like I said, I think that
however, getting better on the offensive line, we need to do it. Whether it's scheme, bro. Listen, bro. I'm so old school. I feel like an old head, bro. My own kids are calling me Unc. I'm their dad, and they call me Unc. What the fuck does that even mean? All right. But listen, bro.
That's the loudmouth uncle that fucking at the party that just
gets
drunk and breathes on everybody and shit.
When Alabama went under center, I was just like, bro, that's beautiful. Like, I need my quarterback to get under center sometimes, bro.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I need them to, run some play action and just hand the ball off and watch those linebackers suck up and open up those crossing routes and those deep ends and those digs. Like, bro, I need some of that. I need first down play action in my life.
You and me both, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
Who said
first down?
Everybody say that.
That's so smoky in here.
What's up, bro?
But how's my people over there on Gump Twitter, bro?
Hey, everything's calm. The scenes are calm. I had a little razzle dazzle moment, Caught my boy KB doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Showing him some support.
Support for KB?
Yeah, man. Gotta bring
awareness. I saw that. That was some funny shit.
Fairweather Fandom Awareness Month. It's real heavy during the month of December. We bring super awareness at the Coach Smook Network. We bring super awareness.
That's some funny ass shit.
Hey, listen, I'm dedicated, brother. I'm dedicated. I refuse to let you. You will not go through this lifetime as an Alabama fan and not have at least have the opportunity to not be a Fairweather fan. I'm here for you. I've been chosen. I've been sent to the Alabama fan base. And yeah, but nah, man, I ain't come over here to talk trash, bro. I came over here.
You heard the calling. You heard the calling.
Yes, I heard it.
I love it.
I came to congratulate y'all, man. That was a crazy good game. And I told everybody, I said Oklahoma's best chance was exactly what they did, man. To start fast. It was the start fast. They did that. It's just sometimes, y'all's offense is dealing with what Alabama's offense was dealing with last year, being in that first phase of that transition between coordinators and trying to establish a new identity and all of that. And a lot of things didn't align, especially with the run game not being as explosive as expected, So us being able to limit y'all and turning around and handing the ball off like y'all traditionally able to do. You kind of almost countered it with the quarterback run game, but then that ended up hurting you in the second half. Wasn't
Gotta
able
run
to
the
adjust
football
off
with
of it.
the running backs, bro. Gotta
Yeah,
run the
man.
football with the fucking running backs.
So, but nah, man, that's why I said everybody. I was like the thing I was most excited about and that kind of surprised me was how our offense was able to move the ball in the second half. Like the lack of adjustments by Brett Venables was surprising to me. And he kept allowing that number 2 on the safety matchup. He kept just exposing his linebackers out there in coverage, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of what Ty Simpson wants to do anyways. The protection was good in both games. Most of the pressure that Ty received, minus I think 2 pressures in the first game were pretty clean. They were kind of disguised good. They were disguised good and got the Ty clean. This game, it was the one. There was the miscommunication with the offensive line and the quarterback. Quarterback on one play call, O-line got another play call, and he came on that free blitz. But outside of those, man, I felt like the O-line did well enough for him to progress like he ended up doing in that second half. All he ended up doing was calming down.
They definitely held their up. Yeah, I think that they were holding the defensive ends at bay pretty well. I felt like, I'll say it. What you said a few minutes ago there, Big Bog, is that, our Mesa got held a bunch and they didn't get called, but it is what it is. But that being said, again, I'm not willing to put any of this on officiating because Oklahoma had a 17-0 lead and didn't step on their neck when they needed to.
I tell you this, man. Keon Keeley, Jordan Renard, Edric Hill, they got held a lot too on the interior. It was a lot of holding, and you saw the referees. They set the tone early in the game. I think both trenches really pushed the envelope on what they would be able to get away with in that game. And I think both coaches. That's what I like about having, veteran coaching staffs, experienced coaching staffs. You look at offensive line, Freddie Roach, our D-line coach. I guarantee you, he started saying, hey, if they going to hold, y'all got to press harder. And that's what I saw in the second half. Our D-line was shooting gaps a lot more aggressively than they were in the first half. And in our ends, the way that they were holding up the edges, it really forced material. And he slipped through on a couple of those, but forcing that QB zone read inside is your best way to contain it. Once he gets out to the perimeter, it's over with. He did it twice, and it hurt us. But on the interior stuff, I think the biggest run in that was like 6 yards was probably the biggest game he did with that. But a lot of those suffered in losses too. So the adjustments was just kind of, you could tell the difference in where the weaknesses was as far as adjustments in the game.
Well, I think that Kane Womack definitely outmaneuvered Ben Arbuckle from even before the pick six. The pick six was insanity, but
yeah, that was crazy.
You stare that shit down, it's just crazy shit to me. But anyway, it was really kind of a reverse from what we saw in Tuscaloosa. Latoya said it in there earlier. It was a reversal. Literally. Awful special teams play by Oklahoma, which is not what we've seen all year. And pretty damn good special teams play on you guys' side. And then Ty Simpson, he wasn't great. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't bad, man. You didn't see him get rattled even when he got hit. And Kip got him a couple of times early that I thought, okay, with Kip Lewis, and he's such, man, I'll tell you this, out of everybody that could leave, go to the draft or go to the portal or whatever, they better do all they can to keep Kip Lewis around.
They already talking, man. They already talking.
Because he's that guy. He's that guy. And so, in the end, I would just say, in the end, hey, Tiny, I just said I ain't putting this shit on officials. I've said it like 3 times since you've been in the fucking chat. Shut up. Come on. I'm not putting it on the officiating. Oklahoma did what they did, and Alabama took the game. I'm not even gonna go where I feel like a lot of Alabama fans went after Tuscaloosa, which was we did this and we gave it away and blah blah blah. That's not where I'm headed with this. Alabama took this fucking football game today.
Can I give perspective around that argument?
Please.
Okay, so when in Tuscaloosa, the Oklahoma-Bama game, right? It was pretty much even right, up until the pick six. That's when you all took the lead, right?
Which was early.
It was early, right? The pick six. From that point on, when we regained the lead, it was never a full possession lead when we regained the lead. Y'all won that game by 2 points, man. 2 points.
Yeah.
With the only thing that happened in that game was a bad read by the quarterback. This is what I meant by like giving y'all the game. Yeah, we gave that to y'all.
No, but they punched out a ball on Ryan. They got points off of 3 turnovers.
But y'all
punching the ball out. They fumbled the fumble on Ty, and then the interception that went for a touchdown. But you also they also held the lead for almost the entirety of that game.
But you got to think. Look at the numbers. This is what I'm saying, y'all. We gave it to y'all. We had the lead in all the statistics that you should have the lead in, but that one category, right? No. Let me finish, man. Dang, hold on. I'm trying to help your argument so it won't.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
About what I'm saying. I'm trying to help you.
I'm going to come back at you.
While I conquer at the same time, I'm laying you down slowly. How about that? All right, I'm letting you down.
Shit is what you're doing.
No, but for real, this is what I'm saying. We gave it to y'all because we had an opportunity at that point in time. When we had that last drive, we had an opportunity to win that game. We gave it to y'all. This is why I say we took this game from y'all. Down 17. You go and you force a turnover. You create points off that turnover. Then off of that, you get the stop, right? You totally – what y'all did with y'all offense up until that point when we got the pick six, it no longer existed. We took y'all out of y'all space. Y'all never took Alabama out of their space in that first game. We had opportunities. We gave y'all those. We took y'all out of y'all space, bro. And that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. Like, that's like the general mindset on.
I don't buy it and I don't believe it.
It's
None
okay,
of that. Look, Oklahoma brought the heat to them early on. They got them out of their game plan and what they wanted to do early on, and hitting a play here and a play there and getting more. Look, we could go back through a lot of this stuff. I've got a lot of it written down. What happened in that first game is what happened in that first game, but Oklahoma dictated that game for almost the entirety of it. You were able to get some plays in there, but think about that. In the fourth quarter, hold on, you took the lead for the first time in the end of the third quarter. There were 3 minutes left, Smook. 3 minutes. Oklahoma gets it back at the 11-minute mark in the fourth quarter. You guys had the ball for 10 minutes of the fourth quarter and didn't cross the 50. How is it that's giving anything away? You had the ball the last 6 out of the last 7 minutes of the game and couldn't cross the 50.
Bro, the chat is
kidding me, bro.
Bro, the chat is undefeated, bro.
Yeah, they're pissed off. They're tired of hearing that fucking shit, and so am I.
Hey,
and that's what got the whole thing going.
Let me counter you, Smook, on how y'all took the game away from us. All right, we didn't convert an easy 3rd down and 3, right?
Right.
Instead of running the ball, you shouldn't have thrown it to a running back freaking down the field, right? The next play, our punter drops the ball and doesn't kick it. I don't know how y'all took that away from us, but if you can explain that to me, I'd love to hear it.
You didn't see the check at the line? You didn't see the hand motion that threw him off, caught his eyes? That's what happened. He took his eyes off the ball. It was the hand motion by the defensive line.
I've never seen a punter do that in life. All right? Two, all right? Or the third thing is we threw the ball right to you. I don't know how you took that away and y'all ran it into the end zone. So you can say you took that game and you did all that, but I ain't buying it.
Listen, it made sense when I said it to my chat this morning. So that's what I'm going to stand on. All right?
All right.
It made sense this morning.
They may buy it. They'll buy it, but we ain't buying it.
Hey, surprisingly, I ain't getting no super chats during my show, so they wasn't buying it. I got likes though, so they was buying it at the same time.
Hey, listen, I'm not doing anything but giving love to how Alabama to go through what you went through for the last month and be able to and go through getting down 17-0 and get off the mat and freaking come back and win that football game. Go on a 34-7 run. Basically, you had 24 unanswered points. Bro, there's not a whole lot that anybody can say.
Bro, I said this to Bama Nation. I said there's 3 of the top 10 defenses in the country right now in the playoffs right now. I say Number one was Oklahoma. We've already had that, and this ain't like us no tree hugging stuff. Like we've always said, Oklahoma was the top defense in the country. I've always had it split between us and Georgia because Georgia's secondary against equal talent. They've been susceptible, but they play solid team defense.
Changed things in the second half of the season
Yeah.
where their D line is getting after people. They look like a different
Exactly.
team.
The way they create pressure up front with four is looking like old Georgia once again. And that to my argument against Shawty, like now that system is effective again because of what they're able to do up front. But if they continue to decline in defensive line production, we would have kept seeing those 40-point type games that Tennessee was able to do. Right? That's what Saban and Kirby system was built on. The trenches being able to be handled with as less assets as possible. But that's neither here nor there. But I said this. I told the Bama Nation, I said, we've beat the best defense. Our offense came alive against the best defense in the country. I don't think Indiana has seen team speed like this. I don't think
Indiana's in deep shit. Indiana's in deep shit.
I don't think Indiana's seen this type of attrition in the trenches, offensive line wise, or I don't think their offensive line has seen this type of defensive line depth. Secondary wise, I think this is probably the most team speed they've seen. Ohio State played them solid in that game. Their secondary held up pretty solid. Fernando made some solid plays, but other than that, bro, I think, like you said, I think Indiana's in deep crap, bro. I think they are.
I don't think that they're ready for that. I don't. They're gonna have to show me that they're ready for that moment. Beating Ohio State's one thing. Neither one of them have been really pushed all year, except for maybe in one game. I'm not buying Ohio State either. I think that Georgia's gonna beat the shit out of them.
Man,
I think it's gonna be, and I wouldn't be that surprised if Miami beat Ohio State.
I think Miami will wake them up. I think Miami will wake them up to where if they see Georgia, because I got Georgia over Ole Miss. I think Miami will wake them up enough to see when they see Georgia, it'll be a better game, but Georgia will still beat Ohio State.
I think Georgia's going to beat Ohio State, but it wouldn't surprise me if Miami found a way to win it too. It's a neutral field. The way that they were able to go into College Station and deal with that madness there and find a way to win. It was a crazy game and everything else, but that defensive line, what they do in the trenches, I think a lot of it's going to depend on Carson Beck.
Yeah.
But, they could definitely – I'm not saying they're going to win for sure against Ohio State, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did. It just wouldn't.
Hey, Big Mike, you were saying something earlier about evaluating talent and stuff, and you like I hate when people that come to our podcast, right, and they'll sit there and listen to us evaluate things, and then they like try to critique it as if it's not, if everything we saying is word is bond. It's so many different ways to evaluate talent, right?
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a space, man. I'm telling you. I was telling you, Jason, I'm not trying to take him off the platform. I'm actually trying to bring him.
I'm just fucking with him anyway, dude. It's not like I have any kind of power over what he does.
But this is big, man, because this is something that we all passionate about. I want to take a moment, Jason, if you don't mind. This is huge. It's nothing that helps Coach Smoot Network directly. This is something that's going to help something that all of us are passionate about as college football fans. Everybody knows high school recruiting, college recruiting is number one. It's a $1 billion industry right now. But we know, Jason, nephews, brothers, and friends that got sons that probably didn't get an opportunity, right? Mike, kids, your son's playing at Oklahoma, but kids that he played with that should have an opportunity. Whether it's D2, D3, N8, whatever, they probably didn't get the looks they deserve. There wasn't a system set up. There's a new app being launched right now, man, called Got One app. And this is a new recruiting database. This is going to be basically the Instagram for recruiting. And the type of connections that we already have established in the state of Alabama is crazy. You're talking about, I think, almost 20 universities across the state already are willing to utilize this database and take on the evaluations of local scouts, people who have dealings in the games. You get rated by a system as far as your scouting. And I think Mike, Jason, guys like us that sit on these platforms and talk about these recruits day in and day out, look out for this dude. This platform provides that now. We don't have to stretch to do it on YouTube. It's a platform that's developed right now, man. And I think you guys would be able to impact it and be able to be like the spearhead of establishing that in the state of Oklahoma. The way that you
Hey,
all
man, I'm
talk,
down for it.
especially
I'm
with,
definitely down for it. It's always
come on,
it's
man.
kind of always been one of my kind of passion projects is to help some of these guys that are flying under the radar kind of get recruited for sure. Going all the way back to my homie, his son Darian. I think there's a lot of guys that go overlooked. You know what I mean? And you know, I agree with you on that for sure. Hey, man,
This is
you know I'm in. You know I'm in.
this is the door before the door. You know, it used to be like Mike. You know people now. You know what I'm saying. You know people based off your past experience, your career, and then what you've established by your son's recruiting and his process and your coaching experience. Like now, this opens the door, right? This opens the door. It makes it legit. It's on a platform. It's on a dashboard. The process, the evaluation process. You sit there and you do the evaluations. You record these evaluations. You do this and you put it on this format. The system does it for you. These kids have access to it, and that's what we help send out to schools. Pipelines that we're establishing on the back end. We don't have to do the phone calls no more. Schools are going to check this database now. They don't care if it's somebody that we submit to them or not. They have access to all these players, these local evaluations, stuff that rivals and 247 and on 3, all these guys, they don't want to do, they're scared to do. We're providing this access, man, and it's taking off. We've already had 15 kids already get looked at, and I've been on this thing for 3 days. 15
Dude,
kids
that's
already get looked
badass.
at. So
That's badass. You're gonna have to show it to me here.
I'm
You're gonna have to
definitely
show
gonna
it to
put
me here
y'all on,
afterwards.
man. I gotta actually get ready to step into that meeting now. But I'm definitely gonna pass the word on. We were trying to get 50 scouts by the end of January. So if anybody I'm gonna put this in anybody's hand to kind of try to be the spirit of it. I felt like state of Oklahoma is much talent that is there. Man, come on. You guys got
Hey, man, we're all over it. We definitely would yeah, we got you, man. And actually, let me get you. I could get you hooked up with Okie like Cody too, because he's in on a lot of that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, that's my boy. Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Definitely, you should
You gotta get
definitely
with Dent. You gotta get with Big Cuz.
Yep,
Big
because
Cuz on that as well.
you know
yeah.
he in Mississippi. I already know.
And yeah,
So,
and Isaiah got in the portal today, so unfortunately.
Yep. Hey, you know what? Hot topic, hot news, and I have some scoop for you. Andrew Body, the quarterback from Alabama State, SWAC, all conference quarterback, jumped in the portal. Already receiving contact from the University of Oklahoma. Go check him out.
What's his name?
Andrew Body.
Okay.
Go check him out. And the big game that got their attention, I guarantee you, was his game against UAB in week 1 or week 2 of this season. Andrew Body. Go check him out.
I'll do it.
Andrew Body. All right, y'all. Hey, you fam, y'all know it's all love, man. I love to talk trash when we see each other, but y'all know I'm always rooting for my Sooners, bro. When they not playing us, it's all love, man.
All love on both sides. You already know that too.
For sure, man. Y'all take it easy, man.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Later, man. Andrew Body. That'd be hey, listen, man. Right now, I'm excited to hear about any quarterback other than John Mateer. Bringing Jason Witten to coach tight ends, hopefully. Yeah. Hey, Sooner Cowboys. You said something a minute ago about what's up, Jaron? Good to see you, man. He said top of the morning. This is huge, Coach Smook. That's a great app. They should name it the Politics Killer. I love it. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen as far as there's some smoke out there about Joe John. I don't know what's happening there. I'm not gonna get into a bunch of coach fire and stuff like that because I'm just not. But I do feel like there's probably going to be some changes. It keep, huh?
The USF South Florida quarterback is in the portal.
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy, man.
Hmm.
Byram Brown.
Yeah, it's wild that all these dudes are getting into the portal so quick. Even though, I mean, you knew it was coming though.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming. They're saying, it's not open until the 12th. Okay, cool, but it's still it's all gonna be done deal by then. I thought it was pretty funny shit that Drink was whining and bitching about tampering, and Prabula the next day or two gets in the portal. Yeah.
I wonder who wants him. Who wants that? The dude. I don't know.
Prabula?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he was terrible. He definitely fell apart against Oklahoma, and they didn't make him pay for it. But
Yeah. But shit, let me get off here, man. I got 2 kids. I got to get to the gym, get fed for lunch. The little bastards is off school today.
Yeah.
This week.
Well.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you coming in. Like I said, we definitely been all feeling it all weekend. It sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't really consider the sudden ending so much and I did think about it on early Friday. I was like, man, this could be the last game if they don't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't jump on them quick, and then
Yeah.
I certainly wasn't thinking it was going to be over with when it was 17-0. So it's kind of shocking in so many ways, and then it sucks. It's painful too.
Yep. Bad.
Wow.
Be all right though.
Yeah, we'll live. But yeah, man, we'll get together here. Obviously, we'll see you back next week for sure. But we'll get together on some more stuff here coming up soon. And
all right, bro. Holla at me. Y'all be easy. Merry Christmas.
All right, brother. Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon.
Later.
Later. All right. Big Bike Boganowski. The anchor to Big Monday. My guy. Yeah, shout out to Isaiah Dent and to Big Cuz also. Kind of had to, I'll just be honest, and I saw that coming. I hadn't talked to Big Cuz in a couple of weeks, maybe a week or two, but we talked about it in the past, and you could kind of see it coming, and it was actually, I felt like it was pretty close to happening the last cycle, but it's tough when you've got 2 guys that are freshmen playing the position that he plays, and I think that he would have been really good at. It feels like to me Foji is doing really well at guard, and he would have had a spot there on the right side if he's healthy, right? I think health probably had as much to do with it as anything. But sometimes you get a little snake bit somewhere and you need a change of scenery. And so, I've always told him that we're going to root for him wherever he's at. It sucks, it sucks for us that Isaiah's going to be gone, but but I look forward to seeing him get it, do a great job and he's going to do a great job wherever he's at. The dude's a stud. The dude's a stud. So he comes from, it's bred into him too. His mama played for Pat Summitt and won paranational championships. This is how, he's an athlete. The dude's an athlete. So I'm ready to kind of see, look forward to seeing him excel wherever he's at. So, yeah. But shout out to Big Cuz, shout out to Isaiah Archident. Shout out to Kobe McKenzie. I hope, wish him the best wherever he ends up. And I don't know. I think you're going to see quite a few players are probably going to go. I would expect that some of those receivers will be out of there. I don't have any news about anybody in particular, but my expectations are like Ivan Carry-On. He's got to be gone. I would think that both Zions are probably out of there. They just didn't get their opportunities really. Elijah Thomas, I expect and it feels like Elijah Thomas, they're ready to play him at some point as well. I still think that they're probably going to go look for 1 or 2 guys as well. And you expect that. Feels like Isaiah Sategna Feels like Isaiah Satana is probably going to be gone. But maybe not. Yeah, they've probably already got that in the works, Scooby. And I would think that has to be what's going on with Jim Nagy as well. You know, Chris Mason talked about they've got to be having a meeting coming up, you know, whether it be today or tomorrow or something like that to figure out what it is that him and his agents or whatever are thinking, where they're looking at. And it sounds to me like, I know everybody, you know, a lot of people were saying in the comments there ain't no fucking way he's going to the NFL. If he's being told that he could be the 5th quarterback taken as early as the 3rd round, I mean, that's guaranteed money. 3rd round picks, you know, they get money. So maybe it's a better way for him to go and develop. He'll have more time to develop. And I don't know. I just don't see him getting a whole lot better either. If Nagy tries to cut his pay, I think he's got a contract. So I don't know that you can really cut the pay as far as what it is. But chances are there could be somebody out there that's willing to give him more. You know what I mean? The guy that I know that something that nobody really brought up, but his former head coach at Washington State is at Wake Forest. And so, you know, he had success with the kid. It wouldn't surprise you necessarily if somebody like that went and looked for him. You know. Yeah. I don't know what the number is exactly, but I heard that it was closer to 3 million than 1.7 that they're showing everywhere. But I don't know. And you know, it was asked the other night if you know, okay, Chris, would I trust him to come back? And I don't know that I do. Because I don't know that you know, this would be year 4 in the system, and you would hope that he has command of the offense, but you would have hoped that he would have had command of the offense in year 3. And with better weapons, you know, that he would have used them better. And the things that I see that are really a problem, I don't know that you fix. I don't even know that it has anything to do with scheme. I think it has a lot to do with his mechanics being bad and his clock is sped up and he's not making reads and I don't know. It just, to me, I just don't really see it. I don't really see it. No, he wasn't. That's correct. He had already thrown interceptions in pretty much every game. He had thrown a pick leading up to that. Now adrenaline allowed him to finish that game against Auburn, and he made a big plays down the stretch to help win it. And I'll give him all the credit in the world for that. I give him credit for the way he started the other night. And overall, he didn't have a terrible game the other night. It wasn't terrible by John Mateer by any stretch. I think that the game plan wasn't good. And I think that's as big a part of it as anything else, too. But I still will tell you, and I know that, you know, I know not everybody wants to hear anything about the Michael Hawkins thing, but I would be more concerned about keeping him than I'd be worried about keeping John Mateer. Michael Hawkins has, for what they are doing with the +1, you know, running game and the quarterback and all that kind of stuff, he can do that. He's better at that than what Mateer is. You know, he take off on a run or two. He's breaking them for touchdowns from deep. That's not what Mateer's going to maybe pick up. Yeah, he picked up first downs. He did a good job scoring inside the red zone, running the ball. Okay, cool. I mean, you're more dynamic with Michael Hawkins in that aspect if we're running the ball. But I don't love what they're doing with the scheme at all. I don't love it. And the hope is that they really are sitting down and talking about making some changes to this offense. And what it is that BV wants to see out of it. Because there's no way that he can be okay with them not moving the ball, not running the ball with the running backs. I mean, forget about you wasted money on a lot of running backs, not just one. You definitely wasted a lot on Jay Knott, but there wasn't enough carries to make one running back happy. You know, I would say that Torrey Blaylock's probably pretty happy with the amount of carries and stuff that he got, and he's been hurt from week 1. But keep Hawkins and John Mateer or sign a Q back and let them both go. And you have what? They're not going to consult with Tebow on anything, Sugoi. Come on. Don't say what. We just come in just to say whatever the fuck. Come on. Well, I'm not jumping on any train. I'm just saying that the bottom line is whoever. It would not surprise me. I don't trust John Mateer either. So I'm not jumping on any train. You're going to figure out and see who's doing what. Bo Bentley, get out of here with that shit. He's a fucking true freshman. And you know what? The stuff he got away with at Salina ain't going to be the same. He didn't go up against the same kind of DBs that he's going to see in the SEC, bro. You got to quit. You got to quit listening to stupid shit like that. Ugh. He's just like Mateer. Fuck. Again, I hope that they're going to make some changes as far as that goes with the offense itself. Do something that's, no. And I don't agree with this part. We need more weapons for Mateer. No, I don't. I know that K. Chris has been saying a lot of that stuff. We need to add some more weapons here and there. He's not hitting the weapons he has, so I agree with you on that, Kevin. And I've said that to him plenty of times. To me, I want to see somebody get, Michael Hawkins should get a shot, but I don't blame Michael Hawkins if he's out of here. And that's why I think you got to find out if you're, I'm guessing that Jim Nagy has an idea of what's going to go down there. And he's already been making plans for that. But I can't imagine that you see him coming back, Michael coming back if Mateer's coming back. But I could be wrong about that too. But I don't know that you're going to without it being a true competition. I don't know that you could trust that it would be a true competition. Even with Bo Bentley. Yeah. LaToya, I respect your opinion. I don't agree with it. I think that he wasn't great in a lot of, there's definitely, look. And Big Mike said, he's got a lot of time to get right. True. But again, this was year 3 in that system, and he had better weapons than what he had as a starter at Washington State. I get it, it's the SEC, but the things that are really alarming, I don't know that you fix those within the confines of what you're doing for the football team. I just don't know that you do. I don't know. If he's got a contract, I don't know that you can get out of it. What about Tatum? I don't know. I haven't heard anything on that. I know that you got to have more than the running backs that you have. He should be able to redshirt at this point. He didn't play enough to where he can't redshirt. So he would have gotten his red shirt back. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely over him. I've been over him. And I don't even shy away from that shit. I tell the truth. It's facts. Big fact right there. I don't think that he's got it, though. And I had questions about how good he was coming in. I think he's a gamer. But I think to that time when you see him fall apart and like, look, all you got to do is look at that game just the other night. You see him stare down a spot on the field that the only guy there is an Alabama defender, and you still throw it. I don't know, man. And again, it'd be great if we would run the football with the backs. I think there's a lot more to it than just the quarterback situation for sure. But it's not a good feeling of what it is that. And look, I'll just say this. I said it earlier. OU is QBU. And I don't know how much longer that's going to last playing the way that they're playing offensively with quarterbacks. And for that, but the standard is high. The standard is high for quarterbacks at Oklahoma. So it is what it is. He needs to be better. Well, and that's the thing. You haven't seen him. The things that I haven't seen him do is what bothers me the most. It's not even he doesn't set his feet. That shortstop throw hop thing that he does, where he's hopping and throwing at the same time, sidearming at that, like he's turning two. Don't love that. And he doesn't have a big enough arm to make it work even. But not putting air under the ball in a lot of instances. We saw a lot of that early in the year. We saw a lot of it late where, if I go back to the LSU game when he had Giovanni Gibson running down that sideline, if he throws and gets air under that ball, it's not an interception. He could have thrown it to the goal line and Giovanni would have run under it. You saw that a lot. Same with Sategna. Sategna's so fast and Burks. You could have thrown it, led them out there, and you just don't see him layering balls. That's something we saw from Michael Hawkins in the Tennessee game last year, layering balls over the linebackers in front of the damn safeties. These are things that you either kind of have it by the time you get to college or you don't. And I don't see that he has it. That he doesn't throw a changeup. It's all fastballs for him, and his fastball is off when his thumb got broken. Mateer had to learn how to layer the ball also in the zone. Well, Kevin Wilson sticking around. Man, I hope so. Shit. Yep. Can't put air on the ball when you throw sidearm. Yeah. Well, I have been too, but and I mean, to some extent, you would think. I always felt like Coach Venables was a pro Hawkins guy, right? But he's been awfully pro Mateer for my liking this year. And I mean, you're supposed to be in public. I get all that. I'm not, it is what it is. That's not going to happen either, bro. They got him under a 2-year contract with a lot of money. They're not going to, I mean, look, if Arbuckle is working with Kevin Wilson and they are able to work, and he seems like, but I don't know that I believe a whole lot of what he's had to say, but according to him, he likes to hear what Kevin has to say. He feels like he's a wealth of knowledge. I know that I've heard Brent say that Kevin's been very careful not to step on toes, doesn't want to look like he's stepping on toes. I say step all over them motherfuckers. But he's not going to do that. I know that him and Brent are tight, and he'll help. Well, assistant head coach run the offense. Is that what you're saying, Crow? I'll see that. Yeah, look, I agree. I think this is the time right now when you start going back and looking over what it is, and you guaranteed you have to believe he has to learn it. That's what I was just saying, Shawty. He has to learn it. His footwork bad. Look, but how? I mean, are you gonna? Do you think that? Here's my feelings on that. What you don't, if you're not already fairly good at that already, and this is a problem, I don't know that one more year here is really what puts you over the top on that. I just don't see it, bro. What? Yeah, yeah, you're right. He definitely has no, he doesn't change speeds for sure, right? And that tells you, I mean, to me, that tells you why he wasn't super highly regarded coming out of Little Elm. I think he's a gamer, but I don't think that he has multiple things that he can do. I mean, I think that Jackson Arnold got a problem of, confidence. He had a shortage of confidence, but he threw the ball. He could make every throw. And I don't think that that's what John Mateer can do. I believe that Michael Hawkins can make every throw. I don't see that from John Mateer. I just don't see it. And I think that's the reason why he wasn't super highly regarded. But you got to work on your craft, and I don't see that that's what's going on. Yeah, they would both benefit from getting away from each other. Oh, maybe somebody else maybe he needs more time with a guru, a teacher, Kevin, guys like, well, that's who Mike goes to. I mean, he goes to shit. It's just Kevin Murray, Kyler's dad. There's a bunch of those dudes though, right? Kevin Wilson's one of the great offensive minds. I agree with you. He was the coordinator of the best Oklahoma offense in history. You know? Threw that first ball to the pylon and the receiver ran a comeback there. It was airmailed. Later, they ran the same play. The receiver ran to the pylon. Mateer threw the comeback route. What's up, Ronnie? Yeah, he doesn't read them at all, to be honest with you. But that, and evaluating is different. I get it. But I'm just saying, man, at this point of where they are, I just don't know that the question was asked the other night, do I trust him to come back and be better with new weapons? I do not. I don't know that it's going to matter I mean, I don't think it matters what I think. I think it matters what does Brent Venables do, and this is a big moment for Brent. This is a big moment for Brent and Nagy, and for Ben Arbuckle. Ben Arbuckle, I think if you want to know what the mistake I think it is, the biggest mistake, and I said this to Bishop the other day. The biggest mistake that I think that Brent has made has obviously been on the offensive side of the ball. It's trusting in his coordinators and like the autonomy that they have. Bob Stoops didn't give nobody no autonomy. He was in charge of his entire team. Yes, he was a defensive guy too. He was in charge of his entire team. And that's where Brent has to take the next step and get in charge. And you know what? We know that you can handle the defense. We get it. Now handle the rest. Make it easier on your defense. Hold the offense to the same level of accountability that you hold your defensive players to. That's a good question. It's a good question. Can we afford a quarterback and new weapons? I don't know. I mean, I guess my deal is I don't know how many new weapons you really have to have. You know? I think Giovanni's coming back. I think Giovanni's coming back. I don't know about some of the rest of them, but I mean, you look at Elijah Thomas. Deion Burks is obviously probably gone. But Elijah Thomas should be about ready to rock and roll. I think there was times that he was probably ready to go this year. I think that it's been more of his adjustment to college life is more why he didn't get on the field more than it was what he was doing on the field. I think he's ready. I would tell you that, I mean, I think they're recruiting well. They've got guys coming in as freshmen too. I don't know that you have to go and get somebody. There you go. There you go. I was saying the same thing, Shawty. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Again, it's that's where I was saying, that I don't know that it's a weapon problem. I know that. Look, in K Chris's defense, this is where he comes at it from is he wants to give them more opportunities and better guys. Here's what I'll tell you about Deion Burks. I think that the weapons where they had them wasn't always right. I didn't understand why Deion Burks isn't in the slot. I didn't understand why Satana was in the slot. Why are they, it was kind of inside out with that kind of stuff for most of the year. Isaiah Satana, when you got him on the outside, he's running free. Deion Burks, he catches a football and he seems to run into the first defender he sees. I don't know. I didn't love the route concepts necessarily. And I mean, I go back to that LSU game and, Deion Burks was the blocker on a couple of those tunnel screens and they got blown up. Well, as soon as Kanik became the blocker on the tunnel screen, or maybe it was, I forget if it might have been Satagna. Whoever it was, they scored a touchdown with Burks. But he ain't a blocker. I think they definitely, if they're going to, the weapons that they need, I would go hardcore for a big-time tight end, a two-way tight end, a guy that can block and catch the ball, a mauler. But that would also be, I've got to tell you, I don't love the system. I think that the system is, yes, like Shawty said, is predicated on him doing a lot. And I don't think that putting things for him to have to decipher what's the play, what's going to work and what isn't, reading the play, reading defense and all that shit, I think it's bad for him. And that's a problem though. I'll tell you, RJ Young, I don't know if you guys have caught that. I saw it on the short, but I was watching his show the other night, and he was talking about that there's 100 guys at Oklahoma that could play quarterback. They have the physical ability. What makes you a starting quarterback at OU is your ability to process things after the snap. He's not wrong. I don't see that in John Mateer. I don't see him as having the ability before the snap to process things. I think he is, right? I think he was gone either way. Yeah. And I hate to sit here and just trash the dude, but I'll just be honest with you. I mean, they're getting paid. I mean, he didn't perform, brother. He didn't perform. Certainly not up to the level that Oklahoma fans have come to expect. And even had you performed to some level just below that to where, with some level of consistency, cool. They would have probably won. But you can't believe in the guy in a tight game that he's not going to puke it away. He needs another year? Okay. He's probably going to get it. He's probably going to get it, Craig. He really is. I don't like Burks blocking either. What? He hit him. He hit him on that one. What do you mean? Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. You had already bought tickets for Atlanta? Nice. Shit. That's tough, though. It's not like you'll have a hard time selling them. Yeah. Appeared to me, just from my observation, the game was too fast for him to process reads. Hence why he panicked so much in the pocket. Yeah, listen, I again, I think that you're giving him too many things to have to read. Just like what Shawty was saying. I think that's correct. And, a lot of times in a lot of those air raid, and this should be something that Buckle can do. He's an air raid guy. So the air raid way of doing things is to cut the field in half and take some of it away. Just read half of the field. Now that limits you in what you're going to get as well. But at least if you do it, I mean, he's not just going to get locked into one place. His anticipation stuff hasn't been good. But I think you need to go slow with that as far as, But it wasn't an accurate throw for a running back on the run. He had 25, 30 yards of green grass to run if he would have tucked it. No. Well, it wasn't an inaccurate throw. I mean, he threw it. It was a scramble play. It was a scramble drill. You know what I mean? I don't think it was bad. You gotta catch the ball if you're X-Rob. That's all there is to that. You gotta catch and listen, I got nothing but love for X-Rob, and I'm not sitting here saying I mean shit. If you played football, we've all dropped passes. Don't get me wrong. Shawty, I'm sure, dropped a few himself, playing at Georgia even. It happens. But in a big game like this, it's important. You got to make that. You got to make that play. You got to make that play. I agree. Dude, listen. You're preaching to the choir, Johnny boy. You're preaching to the choir. I've been on Michael Hawkins for a while now. But I don't think it's as weird a feeling as you think it is. And Andrew, I think he may be out. Again, if he's getting a grade for a third round, because whether it be because it's a light draft class or whatever you think it may be, make no mistake, there's guys in the league that believe they can fix him. There are. And if they like his intangibles, his leadership qualities, some of that other kind of stuff, that can make up for a lot. Now, I would tell you that I wouldn't touch him if I'm an NFL GM. That's just me. But it is what it is. Wasn't that the whole thing, though? Everyone talks about how well he anticipates. Yeah, they lied. Peyton fixed Bo Nix. Bo Nix was fixed before he got to Peyton. Listen, Kentucky's about to get really good on offense. Will Stein is that dude. He made Dylan look a lot better in 1 year too. Yeah. And Bo Nix also had Will Stein and Kenny Dillingham the year before that. He got good coaching. But Sean Payton is helpful too, don't get me wrong. But he was a first-round pick because of the work of those two guys. You don't give a shit either way. Whether he stays or goes, there's Crow. Hey, thank you for the super chat, by the way, earlier. You the man. Back in my day when we walked in 6 feet of snow uphill both ways. Don't give me that Lynn Swan shit. Lynn Swan couldn't hold Otis Taylor's jock. I'm so mad about that one too. Man, I'm just saying, man, there is a lot of freaking shit out there that is saying that they are trying to get him to go to the draft. That there's multiple teams that like him. I'm telling you, I don't agree with it either. I wouldn't want him, but I keep hearing it, bro. It's not the craziest shit in the world, but I've heard it so much. And from people that I have to listen to them because I know that they're not just getting it out of nowhere. Oh shit. I had to, hey man, I caught a ball getting drilled by Brian Urlacher one time. I don't know how the fuck I did it though. Ugh. Brutal. Yeah, it sucks, man. Is it Monty? Ugh, bro, it's fucking terrible. Oh, this is sicko. I don't know who you. It sucks, bro. What do you think about Texas getting rid of PK and bringing in Muschamp? I think that this is a way for Sark to take the heat off of him and having to change up his playbook or give away his playbook to somebody else. Because he's getting a lot of heat on that. I don't think I think it's a good move. Look, I think PK's very good. I don't think PK's the problem at all at Texas. I think that he's been really good. But I don't think he's as good as Will Muschamp either. So I think this is Sark insulating and taking one big shot at the Natty next year, thinking that he gets an improved defense that's a little nastier, a little more aggressive, and he's gonna turn Arch loose and see if they can go win one. And if he doesn't or he does, I think he may be out of there. That's what I think. Shawty, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you, dog. I'm telling you that's what I'm hearing. Ugh. Texas will really suck now? Yeah, I don't know. I think they're pretty damn good. Yeah. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Only 43 likes, huh? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get out of here anyway. I've been going for a while. Over 2 hours. Or almost 2 hours. Nope, over 2 hours. 2.5. Damn. All right. Appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure you check us out. Hey, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas this week. You know, it's coming up this weekend. I don't know how much we're going to be on this week. We'll kind of see how it goes with Coach. Maybe we'll be on tomorrow night, but that'll probably be I don't know. I might do something, but I gotta get with my mom and see kind of what's going on for the rest of the week with her. And definitely, I don't know if I'm going to New Mexico or going to stay here or go get her and bring her back, or we may go see my daughter. I don't know. We'll see. But if you're not already a subscriber, become a subscriber and hit the bell button so that you know when we come on. But just want everybody to enjoy their week. Merry Christmas to everybody, and or however you celebrate it. Spend time with your family. This definitely hurts, man. This week definitely hurts. It was a sudden ending. It was and it kind of feels like your heart was ripped out of your chest a little bit because of the ride that they took us on for the last month. And I think everybody was kind of expecting it to still be going on for a little while. Shout out again to Alabama for handling their business and being able to get off the mat like that. But yeah, it's tough. Let's take care of our families though and spend some time there and yeah, enjoy your holidays, everybody. Love you all. I'll talk to you soon. See you on the next one.